passage, as in the words that are here: scribe, reed cutter, farmer, potter, stonemason, overseer, sculptor. So, all these words you will be easily able to find there, right? Now, you will highlight these words in your passage. So, let's go into the passage and let's try and find these words. So, we'll start from the very beginning of the passage and let's see. So, first thing we see in the third line itself, third or the fourth line, it
Hmm.
says scribes. So,
Scribes.
we are
Yes.
going to highlight this. Now, your job is to highlight this word wherever it is mentioned. So, scribes is mentioned again,
Hmm.
and then again we have a scribe over here. So, as many times the word is there, we'll underline it.
Okay.
Then comes the next part, and that I guess is reed cutter. Reed cutter, right? So, reed cutter we'll underline. Do you see any other kind of people mentioned in this para? Let's go back and see how many people were there. What kind of. So, scribe is here, reed cutter we've already found. Then we have to find farmer,
Partner.
potter, stonemason,
Pot.
overseer, and sculptor. Let's go back.
Former potter. Stone.
Okay, so reed cutter we have got. Then you have farmers, right? So, farmers again,
Hmm.
and any other here?
Potter is there.
Potter is
This
there. Which line is it? Potter's
last.
last line, the
That
potter,
one is.
right? The potter who produced cups. Okay, fine. Okay, and then we are going on to the next page now, and we see what else do we have? We have slave labor, but since it was not mentioned in our list, so we will avoid this slave or
Hmm.
labor. Now, laborers also not there, so we'll avoid again. Okay, so this is not mentioned only. Um, Stone. So, who was doing this stone work? This job was done by skilled stone masons.
Stonemasons.
So, stone
It
mason
is
is
also
here,
there. Yes.
and then we have one more time we have farmers. So,
Farmers.
we'll
Yeah.
underline this,
Okay.
and then I think we are done with this. Okay,
Hmm.
overseer. Overseer is also here. Overseer. Okay,
Seasons.
keeping the value of math. No, that's it. That's it. That's it. Sculptors. Do we have
Sculpture.
sculptors?
Sculpture also we have.
Where is it? Sculptor.
It is
Ah,
there.
yeah. Required
Yeah.
sculptors who
Yes.
could. Okay. So now, after having found all these words, we will
Hmm.
go back and see our text. Text
Okay.
means the statements that have been given. So we have to match each statement with the correct job. These are the jobs, and we found almost all of them. In fact, all of them we have found. Now we will see where are, I mean, what is the work of each of them. So we
Hmm.
are given only four things, four job descriptions, and the number of jobs that we are given are four, five, six, seven jobs. So seven jobs and
For
four job descriptions. So there is a clearly a mismatch. So there will be jobs which will not be repeated at all. And do we have a repetition? No. If at all the question asks us for a repetition, it will mention note bait, some answers, or you may repeat your answers more than once, right? So if that statement is mentioned, it is apparent that the answers will be repeated. So the
okay.
alphabets will be repeated. Now we have to check who was unable to work at certain
Certain
times,
times.
who divided workers into groups, who faced
Face.
daily hazards, and who underwent a long
Long
period of
period
training,
of time.
right? So, are these descriptions clear to you? Are you able to understand them easily?
Yes,
Okay, perfect. So, let's start with, now there is a quick tip that I would like to give is, you see farmer's name appearing many times, right?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Farmers appeared many times, three times it appeared, and so was the scribes. So you will keep these ones for the very end, and you will
Okay.
start with the ones that have appeared only a one time, right? So let's start with sculptors. What is the role of the sculptors?
That idols they will make.
Yes.
And
So they would cut away the stone around figures or scenes that had been painted. Okay.
painted.
So their main job was to cut away the stone around the figures. So do we see that kind of description? Cut away? No. So sculptor can never be the answer. Fine.
Mm.
Then we move on and read about the overseer. Okay. What is the role of the overseer? Please read.
Overseers organized the men into teams to transport the stones on the sleds.
Okay. So
It is there.
organized the men into
Men into
teams.
the teams.
Okay. Do we have this?
Yes. This divided workers into groups.
Excellent. So organized men into teams. Look at the kind of paraphrasing that has been done,
Mm.
right? So this is F. So you mark
F.
34th as F, right? Okay, very well done. Good. Let's move on and go up. Okay, farmers we are avoiding for the time being. Let's read about
Stone
stonemasons.
masons.
Now they're saying this job was done by stonemasons. So we
Stone
have to
masons.
read what was that
Before.
job.
Mm. They were then rolled to a different location where they could be cut and shaped.
So cutting and shaping of the blocks was done
Mm.
by stonemason,
Stone masons.
right? So cutting and shaping, cutting and shaping. Let's see, cutting and shaping. Um, Unable to
Mm.
work, face daily hazards, not really. So again, stonemason is not going to appear, right? Simple,
Okay.
very simply. Okay, let's go up and check it out for potters. What was the job of the potter?
Potters who produced cups and bowls was important to the community as a scribe. And the maker, visual pharmacist. And this one, cups and balls they will make.
Absolutely, very good. So that also is not there. Okay,
Yes.
let's come to the reed cutter.
Who harvested papyrus plants along the Nile had to bear in mind that he worked in the area that also was also home to wildlife that at times could prove fatal.
What is this?
He will harvest plants
What is this
for
word?
papyrus
So he would harvest the papyrus plants, but he also had
along
to bear in mind that he worked in an area that was home to wildlife.
with
So he was working in an area where he was prone to being attacked by any wildlife, right? So it could prove fatal, means it is called fatal. What is fatal?
fate.
Fatal means
Mm,
it can lead to death also.
mm,
Okay, so this could cause his death. So what it was very harmful for him.
dangerous.
Hmm. So
Faced daily hazards.
face daily hazard. So who would it be? This would be the reed
Reed
cutter.
cut.
Yes,
B.
it would be the reed cutter. B. Correct. Good. Okay. Now let's move up and let's read about the scribe. So scribe is mentioned at a single place. Let's read. So one thing that he did was noted everyday activities. Oh, here also we have a scribe. In
Mm.
order to be engaged, a scribe. Apprenticeship for this job lasted many years. Okay, was tough and challenging.
Was challenging.
And what did he do? He noted the everyday activities.
Duties in ancient
Hmm.
Egypt and wrote about everything from
Correct,
grain stocks and
correct,
tax records,
correct. And they belong to privileged
privileged
backgrounds,
backgrounds,
and
and
they were rarely okay.
crowds people endeavor to get
Okay,
their
so
sons
that's
into the
not about,
schools of scribes.
but
Okay,
they were rarely
be
successful, so that's
successful.
not about them. Okay, so one thing about the scribes was that they required apprenticeship for this
Apprenticeship.
job that lasted for many years. Number one,
Mm.
this apprenticeship was tough and challenging. Number two, they noted everyday activities and wrote about
About
everything from
everything.
grain stocks to tax records. And finally, they were men from privileged backgrounds, right? So let's see if we can find anything relating to that.
This man underwent a long period of training. That is
Correct. So long apprenticeship. Apprenticeship is synonymous with training.
a long
So
training.
this
Yes.
is scribe A. Now we are left with only one, was unable to
Farmers.
work at certain times. Okay.
Mm.
Let's see if this is okay. So we have farmers. Let's read here and then we'll go up.
The blocks were then moved into position by okay. The people were mostly farmers who could not do nothing with their land during the months when the Nile River overflowed in the banks.
Yes, what does that mean?
They could not work in the seasons,
Yes,
rainy
yes,
seasons.
absolutely. So
In
we have
certain
got our
periods,
answer right here. Was
yeah,
unable to
but
work at
to work
certain
at
times.
certain
And
times.
that certain time was when the
God.
river Nile overflowed. So we've got our answer right away. That is C. Now, sometimes these are easy like this, sometimes they may prove
Mm.
difficult. But you should read where you have to read the minimum. Start with the least one, where you have to do the least reading. So by the time you reach the ones that are requiring a large amount of reading, you would have marked almost many answers. So that obviously would be the answer where it is appearing many times, right? So this way to do the matching features question. Let's do